Philosophers talk to our times. Spinoza, I'm afraid, is still on the warpath, explaining why the most flawed of human beings often end up as deified leaders. Now, I wish you to understand three things, because today I am going to explain it as I would explain it and make the entire issue, I think, as clear as night is from day or truth from falsehood. First, I take it as given that we all understand what an emotion is, an affect. It is that passage by which a body feels the diminution or the increase of its power. Now, such changes are natural to all of us. We experience them as pleasure and pain, joy and sorrow. What is more, it is absolutely certain that there is no perception that we have of the world that is absolutely neutral. No. As our bodies are affected by other bodies and through other bodies, they are changed. Their motions communicated, recommunicated, new motions come in. And that very transition which we experience through sight, in a perception at a certain time and in a certain place, also transforms the very nature of our bodies. To go back to the old philosophers then, we embody the essence, the form of others as it is given to us. We take on, as it were, the motions they give to us in our own way. And that transforms us. And that transformation we understand as a temporal passage. Time is something we feel as much as something we know. Joy and pain, pleasure, sorrow, all of these then relate to real transformations that occur minute by minute, by which the power of our body is lessened and greatened and lessened. My second point. We are not neutral in this process. Do not think that. On the contrary, as we are alive, as we have an essence that posits our existence, as we exist as a body, as it is actually affected, that desire necessarily quests, yearns after those changes that enrich us, that open up new capacities to be affected and to affect, that put us in the middle of more and more things in this wonderful creation of ours. Likewise, we flee from those that create sorrow, a lessening in our nature, a lessening in our very ability to be at all. Desire, then, is pitched not in the house of the body, but in the laws of the emotions that affect and are affected. But I can never forget I have a body. Rather, I am its idea as it is affected, but also, in having that idea of a body that actually exists, I share an affinity with all other humans. The more so, the more I imagine they are like me, so that their pain becomes my pain, their embarrassment, my embarrassment. From which too many things follow. Indeed, the entire problem, as I understand it, should be now as clear as daylight. But let me explain clearly. Do you not see that when you are faced with a human who is somehow flawed, who is somehow appealing to you, appeals to your sympathy, that in a way feels vulnerable to you, you have two responses. In that they produce sorrow in you, you could flee from them and say, I want nothing to do with you. But for most humans, most of the time, such an action is utterly inhuman. No. Rather, what we do in our humanity is to try and minister to the idea we have of them in ourselves, and therefore to themselves, to render them more powerful once again, to make them matter. We look then on the flawed individuals with sympathy, as we look upon ourselves with sympathy when we feel ourselves to be flawed. Second point, do you not also see that as we have an idea of a powerful mind, a powerful man, not a mind, a powerful mind, man, we feel their power. And as we feel their power is like us, we feel that power as a joy. If we feel their power is not like us, we feel it as a sorrow. Worthy, virtuous men, then, often inspire great hatred, insofar as they have a power that is not like the rest. Envy follows, for all you might admire their deeds. Well, those flawed individuals who you have to minister in your own mind, who feel vulnerable to you, in their power you will rejoice, and rejoice openly, all the more so because you will feel peculiarly a part of it. After all, their idea is vulnerable. You have to give to them, look after them, and in reply, they give you the power you crave. Now, let us be very, very clear. Most rulers do not give any of their citizens power. And yet, that does not prevent us men assuming that they do, or thinking in their idea and seeing in the idea we have of them a power that we feel that we share, as we are with them, as we are part of them. The more so, the more we have to big up their idea in our heads, the more so as we understand through that they are one of us, a little guy like us. And so we start to listen to their weasel words. And if those weasel words are remarkable, as much for their horror as for their good, so much more the better. For in their very horror, in the inhumanity they produce, they augment their power. By pulling us away from the oddity of the situation that we are in, making us feel the power their idea gives us through an action that defies our own humanity, and yet in it we feel that we are somehow making our place in the world. These little men, then, these small hidden secrets, often quiet in themselves until they erupt into their boisterous words. These vulnerable, wounded souls, if they preach hate, allow us to transcend our own humanity, our own weakness, our own hatred for ourselves often as not, and to take in and to move beyond that, and to feel that hatred itself as a power, as a way to enact a policy on the world to make ourselves feel better. And so people convince themselves of all kinds of folly, that this leader will make their lives better through their doctrines of hate. And yet they will make nothing better. They can make nothing better, for nothing better can ever follow. Now you could say in all of this, won't reason save us? My arse. Reason will not save you, for reason is desire's slave. You will rather find a reason to excuse what you do, insofar as the passion grips your soul and makes you lust to do it at all. There is a story, I think, of an emperor once who wore no clothes. And the story ends with a little boy saying, "The king has no clothes." Now, in fairy tales, they listen to the boy and say, "Oh yes, the king has no clothes." But do you know what they do in reality? They execute the child. For this is the madness that grips men's souls. A madness rooted in desire, rooted in what passions are, rooted in what we are. There is no point railing against it. There is no point trying to find reason for it. Rather, if you would reach to these troubled souls You have to find other words, other ways to give them power, to allow them to experience a wider humanity, beyond the flawed worship of their foul divinity. It can always be done as people are alive. For unless men are riven by contrary affects and driven hither or thither until they are on the veritable verge of madness, you can always reach their natures if only you try hard enough and find the gentle passage forward. I think I have now explained it to my satisfaction. Thank you.